Testy, 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 test. Beep, 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 beep. All right. Switch. Crash. Enhance. That's good. Where's the chat? Hey. Hello, hello. Okay, is that working? This chat's going on. I'll jump to the present. Okay, there we go. Hello, hi. Let's see. There we goes. Okay, all right. Got all this stuff ready. Put this away. Yet another day of me trying to clear up my garage of V1s because I have way too many. I have 2, 4, 6, 8. I got 10. I got 10 V1s I need to get rid of, which usually means updating, making sure they have all the safety stuff I like to put in. So, so I got another one right here. I don't think it has my address, so we should be good. Unless you guys want to come and visit and roast with me, that's fine. But I'm gonna open this up. We're gonna figure out what's wrong with it. Usually what I do is I get returns from Amazon, from the Amazon dealer. Still kind of pay a little bit for it, but it's a lot cheaper than buying it like at new. And then I just maybe add all the mods that I think are safe and then put high beam on it. And it usually tacks on maybe an extra 50 bucks. This is definitely not doing it for profit, so. But what we're doing is just installing the newest version of high beam and then just figuring out basically what's wrong with this unit. And they can range from a broken motor to something as bad as a full-fledged fire in the drum. So I've had 3 of those so far. And luckily they're all working, but they take a little bit longer to fix. So that's what usually happens. Oh, is there no audio? Hello? Hello, hello, hello? No audio. But it says I have audio. There's still no audio. Can you hear me? Spicy eyeballs. So there's no mic. No mic? Let me go check my voice settings. That's on. Mic test, mic test. Hello. It says, oh, Discord says I have it on. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Microphone test. Okay, that works. Oh, sorry. Okay, well, YouTube hears me, so. All right. Anyways, let's open this up. We'll see what's wrong with it. I usually like opening them up and seeing what the person was doing. Usually it's the really bad ones are the ones that usually have a full-fledged fire, or they're using it as a production roaster, which I find fascinating. good. It's also good when, well, for me it is. I always find it interesting is when they return it without the original box, and the box is like the cheapest box you could find at UPS, where the box is made of like hopes and dreams. That's broken. Great. Oh, there's a standard little dent. So right off the bat, we got this thing where people always like to ship this with this inside, and it always just bends that way. Like, don't do that if you're gonna ship it back. There you go, very easy fix. And another one for this one, it's kind of dented up. Oh, my camera died. This camera's been doing this a lot recently. Hold on, let me switch to a different camera. All right, we're gonna switch to that camera. Let me turn this one. So there's this top dent. That's a lot of, like, most of the time that's from shipping. Let me see if I can plug this into the back of my computer since the front of my computer doesn't want to play. Give me 1 minute. Oh. Ouch. I think that works. I think it might be a better port. There. Hope that works a little bit better. So yeah, it has a little bit of a dent on the front, and that's actually pretty common. Let's see if they left everything else in here. So they got, oh, let's see what they got. Looks like Precision Roasting is the place that they get it from. I always like to recommend they get on Amazon because you could literally like send it back, and they'll just send you a new one for whatever reason within 30 days. I don't know why they have this. They must have went with their Sweet Maria. All right, so all those things are in place. Let me see if I can back this up. Okay, so we'll pull all this to the side. And then let's just check what's wrong. I'm gonna just do a quick inspection, see if anything else is wrong with it. Looks like they broke the exhaust. The shipping did a number on this. Probably why they returned it is because this top part is also broken too, which sucks because this is like some weird molding. And you can't exactly 3D print this part unless you print it out in Peak. Or you could do, I think you could do like HTPLA and then anneal it. So, and that's hard. Other than that, you gotta have to pretty much find an alternative for this. Probably should figure that out one day. Anyways, let's start it up and see how it runs. We'll see what noises we could find, or if it even starts, because it could also be just a bad board. Got the remote, so I'll turn it on. There you go. So, what you see there is how you would sometimes need to turn on this controller. There's springs inside that attach to the PCB, so you could press it and it transfers that over when you touch it. It's supposed to feel like a touch screen, but it just feels like cheap shit. So what you do is to get those springs back in order, you just kind of give it a Fonzie love tap, and then the springs kind of get back into place. The worst thing you have to do is like open it up and then adjust the springs so they're touching the contact surface. So we'll preheat. And then I always check if there's power, like if it's 100%, if it's fully bright. But I also check if I could drop it to like 50%. And it's either flickering or the lights above you are flickering that are on the same circuit. And that kind of tells you that you're able to scale the power a little bit. Sometimes you'll get a unit and it'll just stay at 100 and you can't really adjust the power. I've had 2 units like that happen, and that usually means that the board's broken somewhere. But if it stays but if it does lower, then it's usually good to go. Let's see if the fan works. The fan's kind of quiet. It's not that strong, but you just want to feel if it's anything coming out, or you could get a tissue and see if it blows it up. But yeah. That's how I usually test it. If I'm really being a nerd and want to make sure it's moving without getting a piece of tissue, I might use my anemometer. I can't even pronounce that. That's if you're stupid and you have money to blow. I don't know why I have that. Let's see. That's basically what I kind of do if I want to make sure that the unit's working, or if you ever want to buy a used one. Those are the kind of things I would do first. And then also, one last thing is I always check for cool. See if those fans are turning on too. Another thing is you want is making sure that you can adjust the temps, you can switch them over. And just that the controller works in general. But don't give up on it if the controller doesn't work right away. You might have to literally just keep tapping it until the springs get into place. So that's pretty much what I do with this. Other than that, I kind of just toss it to the side when I roast with it. So more than likely, when I'm probably gonna just open this unit up, put the fan mod on, make sure it's safe, and then probably sell it for what, $250 or something, because of we call these little blemish damages. And then this is the newer version. The newer version has this in the back. This is literally the back panel of a V2, but they're mass producing them. So what they do is they just make one less cut over here to the USB port, because the V2 has 2 USB ports that stack on top of each other. Same form factor, it's just that there's a cutout here. Also, they for some reason they blocked this whole thing off, and it's stupid because that's exactly where the heatsink is at, and you'll get a lot less of a chance of it having thermal runaway if you literally just remove this sticker part of it. They literally put a sticker on top of it, preventing you from I don't know, from getting fresh air for some reason. I have no idea why they do that, but it is a straight shot to the heatsink, and you can fit a fan on it on the outside, but you have to get a smaller fan. So what you might have to do is you can also put a fan on the inside, but you have to get rid of a connector. But for this one, what I've been doing is attaching it directly onto the heatsink with a 3D printed part. So let's open this up and I'll show you what I mean. So we'll pull this off. You have to remove this part if you want to take the whole back panel, because there's 2 screws on top. These M4 screws that you have to take off. And I don't take these 2 off, I just leave them on. And just loosen them because they just kind of hinge, and you can just pull it out like that. You can tell this wasn't really used a lot because there's just no discoloration here. And most of the time, it's usually discoloration with a little bit of buildup in there. For those production roasters, or people that are using these as production roasters, you can really tell that they're doing a lot of roasting because there's a lot of buildup in there and they never cleaned it out. So if you ever have airflow issues, there's a little exhaust port here, and you just put a little brush through there. And you could take this off too, to kind of get access to the brush. And you can, I usually, if there's full of crud on it, I'll soak that into like Cafiza or this other stuff called PWB tablets or something, some kind of alkaline tablet. That are pretty affordable, and you can find those on Amazon. I say probably do that kind of cleaning where you're taking this part off, you're taking the panel, cleaning all out, you're taking the fan, you're soaking it. That kind of cleaning, that's like, I would say like maybe once every 6 months kind of cleaning. Because there is buildup that happens. All right, so you're gonna have to pull a total of 4, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. About 14 screws you gotta pull off. Just note these ones, they're a little bit different. They're attached to the fan area. Don't lose those ones. Oh, you should probably be good and get a little tray. Where's my tray? There it is. Oh. All right, so we'll pull these off. We'll pull the 2 bottom ones off. Pull this one off. Okay, so Discord is the audio is not going through. I'm not sure why. That's lame. Hold on, let me go handle, see what's going on with Discord. I'm gonna restart Discord. I'll be back. I did not restart Discord. Oh, wait. I almost closed OBS. Hold on. What's happening with... I'm gonna restart Discord real quick. Sorry. Test. Test. Okay, is it working now? Someone asked, how do I buy one of these refits from you? You could either just send me an email. I have an email on this YouTube page, or you could find me on Discord, or leave a message to me on YouTube. You could do either. Okay, works. Does it work? Okay, Elliot's gonna say something. No pressure. I think you could hear me. Elliot is typing. Huh. Still no. No, huh? Alright. Let me see if I can switch something on Discord then. said all V. Oh, is it this? I mean, I have no permission to speak. All right, hold on. Quietly. Okay. Let me restart Discord again. Stream woes. I usually restart my computer. Did I invite myself to speak? Can you hear me now? Okay. Is the mic working now? Yay! I don't know what I did. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay, back to it. Like I was saying before, real quick, taking off the back, there's a lot of screws you have to take off. Also, this is a V2 back, the newer backs, back panels. I say that because they added this to the V2, and they also taped this part off, which goes right to the heatsink. I always like to point that out because it's stupid, because now there's no airflow to the heatsink. So a lot of dumb things going on. I don't know why they decided to tape that up. But you can remove the tape. It's really just a patch of tape that you could pull out, or you could cut it out with some scissors or something. And then, yeah, I think that's it. There's ways you could put a fan on. I just put a fan on directly onto the heatsink because it's easier. And somebody asked, where do you buy these? If you want to buy the retrofit ones, because this one, it's banged up at the top, so I'll probably sell this for maybe, I don't know. Well, $250, and then I add for whatever shipping is. So, and that'll include like just the unit. I won't add. I'll have those people add in their own high beam unit. Oh, also before, if you're gonna take out the back panel, you're gonna pull this thing out. So this is, it kind of feels weird doing this because you feel like you're gonna break it, but you just gotta give it a little tug, and then you'll pull this thing out. I mean, don't pull with all your might and break it, but just a little bit of a pull to take out this plastic piece. So pull all these screws out. I know it's a tedious process, but the cool thing is when you have your own unit, you don't need to put all these back. You only really need to put on maybe 6 altogether. Oh, and then since we're also getting the control panel out, or the control board out, we're gonna have to pull these 2 screws off. Comes right out. This will come right out over here. And this is how you take off the aforementioned coffin. We'll pull this out. Ta-da! This is actually really brand new. Like, man, that's the cleanest I've ever seen it. Okay, so right here, do you see that tape outline? Sometimes they'll just use a big tape and put it over, and then sometimes they'll just give you like this nice little patch because they decided to be jerks and to tape it off for some reason. You just pull it off. Now you have airflow to the back of your heatsink, which literally that's how a heatsink works. It uses the fins and using airflow to kind of remove the heat away. Good. So now I'm gonna install the fan real quick, okay? And the fan is pretty easy to install. Well, the way I'm trying it now. Actually, put one on the printer real quick. And I'm gonna release these files too, so don't feel like I'm gonna hold these away from y'all. I'm gonna release these eventually. I wanted to run a few roasts with this first to make sure this doesn't melt off and go anywhere, but so far it's been good. Haven't had any real issues. I mean, you definitely have to print this out in ABS or ASA. Do not print this out in PLA. And this gets stuck in the back of the here, so, and it's away from the roast. This whole wall completely separates you from the roasting chamber, so there's no incidental food contact. Because this is an exhaust port, so this will have all the whatever's in the drum leave out that way, so that you shouldn't have any kind of food contact with it, or contact with the beans. Anyways, so with this one, I'm gonna do, this is like the little housing that I designed. Oh, that sounds cool. This took me like 2 days, and it should have took someone who knows how CAD could probably do this in like 30 minutes. And what you do is you get a nice little 3010 fan from, Amazon, and these run like, I think they're like $12 for like a bunch. Unfortunately, they don't. Well, they do sell them for $11.99, I think, for one, or you could buy 5 for 20 or something like that. So I'm always trying to save money, so I'll buy them in bulk anyways and just install them in here. So, and that really just fits in like this. And you want the sticker side is the blowing side, so that's where the air goes. That's the airflow. So you just imagine the sticker is where the air blows towards too. So this is like a general press fit. So we're gonna pull this out a bit. Sometimes it's a pain, so I might even take off this zip tie just to give me less chance of me pulling the wires off of the exhaust fan, because that does happen. And if you want, you can always put another zip tie on there. They're pretty cheap. It doesn't have to be like a special zip tie. I just use cheap Harbor Freight ones. So from here, sometimes you could grab the heatsink with just your 2 fingers and you just pull. Or sometimes you could anchor it from here and then pull. Do not pull this. This, I speak from experience. Do not pull this. You'll have a rough day. And you're gonna try to talking yourself into soldering those wires back together. It's never gonna work. It's never gonna work. Well, I mean, somebody did get it to work, but man, that's such a pain in the ass. That was the flex plate on my 3D printer. There you go. You kind of just pull it out like that. I used to do this whole thing where I used to drill it in, but now I just pop this on. And it's a bit flexible. Anchor it on that way. Push the wires away a little bit. And then just pop the fan in, like so. And you just put this back in. Push it in. Good. That's installed there. You might have to move one of the caps that way a little bit, but it's a 3D printer part. It shouldn't like short it or anything like that. Next thing you do is plug it into here. Okay, so you have to follow how that wire is set up. So the black is on this side and the red is on that side. I've gotten away with just forcing this in because sometimes it's not in the correct direction, but sometimes I just push this in and they'll usually just fit really well, even though it's not supposed to go in that direction. Or you could be good, and we'll be good today, and we're gonna swap out the pins to the different direction, which is a lot more work, but if you want to keep it neat, you can do that. But what I usually do is I just flip it the other way, I just shove it in, and then it usually just stays put. But we'll be good, and I will open this up a bit. Because the only thing is you have to get a small little pin to put in there. Like if you have these little cell phone things that come with your cell phone when you switch a SIM card, they fit really well. To push down that pin, and then you push up and push it in, pull that little pin down, pull, okay, like it. Good, and it should just, you should push it in and push it out, and that pin will unlatch from itself from that area. And you just push down again, push it flat, let's pull. And I got to put red on that side, so you just have to use your fingertip to kind of pull this little retaining clip out, just so it catches on the wall again. And then do the same thing here. We got to pull that little retaining clip. Put it back. I know, that's kind of a pain. It's really easier just to shove it in there and then just say, fuck it, it should work. But now it's nice and neat. It's following the same. Just remember to just try to pull your wires in, keep it clean. And now I use these thick wires to kind of hold it in place. So put the thinner wire in more of the center of it, and then the thicker wires on the outside, and make sure these kind of go out of the case because you don't want to go into the fan. But there, and that's kind of how it's set up. This will just be there to hold it in place. And to make sure everything's fitting well, you can plug it back in while this is open, verifying that the fan is spinning and it's not a broken fan. Because these are cheap fans. Good. So I'm just looking on the inside if it's spinning, and it's spinning just fine. So, and that's the mod that I recommend everyone kind of doing if they have to, just because it helps prevent fires or thermal runaway. Because you could still roast with it without all the high beam mods and everything, but to be safe, you need to cool off this heatsink. I think that's the best way to kind of cool it off. All right, so everything looks good. And since you have that back panel open, there's holes in there. We'll draw in the cold air to be able to cool off that heatsink. And that's all the heatsink wants is cool outside air, not to recirculate what's inside. It just wants air to remove heat via the fins. All right, make sure everything's in place. That looks good. This is actually a really clean unit, so this will be a good one if someone doesn't mind the little dents in there. I wonder if I could pop out that dent. I'll put a sticker on it, whoever buys this. Also, just so everyone knows, this is a radiant heat roaster. So none of this stuff is sealed, like a convection roaster would be. Like if you look at a Kaleido now, they're all sealed because they want to ensure that the best form of convection is occurring to the beans. Where this is tack welded on for most part. A lot of the drum is tack welded on the drum chamber area. And it really doesn't rely too much on keeping the heat inside. We have an exhaust fan, and that's mostly to get all that smoke out. And it also works to cool off the beans as well. But it's not there to regulate hot air because it's not a convection roaster. It's a radiant heat roaster, so most of the heat is being absorbed by the beans. So just keep that in mind when you're roasting. A lot of people are like, oh, it's like convection. No, not really convection. It's radiant dominant. So some of the rules don't really apply. But yeah, and that's why there's a lot more tack welds than there are a full sealed drum enclosure or drum chamber. All right, so we got that in there. That looks good. It's nice and clean. I'm gonna put this back on. All right, so one thing is you just want to line this up first. Sometimes what I'll do is to make sure that it lines up or help you with lining it up and not making a new hole somewhere, because they're not, these have a little bit of a sharp end. You could stick the wrong part of the plastic. What I do is I'll just grab one of the connectors. I'll grab a USB connector somewhere. You could even use the one that it comes with, and I'll just plug it in. Unplugged, of course. No electricity through the machine. Just plug it in, and I'll use that as my guide. Good. And then I'll just kind of match up the holes. It should be tight enough to where you could pull a little bit on the board and it won't come out. If it's loose, you actually might want to fix one of the retaining clips that are on the USB. And then we'll just kind of, just nice and gentle. And I'll kind of fix that. It's very easy to mess this part up, so. And I'll leave it loose because I know I'm gonna have to adjust the box later. And we'll put the next screw in. Good. All right, and there it goes. And you could, if you could look from here, you could see the heatsink is like right brushed up against this area. Double check if there's vibration in the fan, because that might be an issue. Good. So that sounds good. Everything looks like it's in place. The heatsink's really brushed up against the metal, so that's good. Everything's fitting well. I am gonna unplug. And let's go put this whole thing back together. So. If you have any questions, let me know. Any burning questions. There's no crazy questions for sure. For my personal roasters, I only put like these four, and then the ones down here are usually the ones that I put in, and then all the ones associated with this exhaust thing. And if you're new to roasting with it, when it's preheating, don't keep it at 100. It really like diminishes the lifespan of the bulb. So whenever you preheat it, maybe preheat it instead of 100%, I would do like 80 or 90. 90 at the most. But if you're working with some really resilient beans and you think you could, you know, you're gonna have a really, really hot heat on them, then you could try roasting that kind of way too, like 100% when you first start off. But you gotta make sure those beans aren't like a low density bean. You don't want to use a delicate bean when you're trying to eat it up to like 100%. So we're just putting the screws back on, making sure everything works. I'm gonna try roasting with it, see how it goes. We'll play with, we'll start off fresh with some new ESP32s to install high beam, the newest version. I have time. I should have time. So if you have a choice of using Artisan or high beam, I guess just try using both, see what you're more comfortable with. I think they're both fairly easy to use. One is just more user friendly than the other, and a little bit easier to set up for brand new people. But there's nothing wrong with Artisan as well. Artisan works great too. I use a lot of high beam because sometimes I just like to roast with my phone. And I already have my phone. I could just turn my phone on, connect it to there, and then I'm good to go. Or I have like a tablet that I can use too if I really want to see the graph. But usually I just use my phone. I feel like it's a better, it just feels better. I don't need like a dedicated controller. And I don't like the controller on the, on either the V1 or the V2. Also, if you're thinking about getting a V1 or a V2, just a few things to consider is definitely the price. Like, do you feel like the upgrades that they give you on the V2, are that much better that you'll pay that extra, what, it's like extra $300 for it? So you pay $300 for a tablet, a worm drive motor, and an extra beam probe. What else do you pay? And that's it, really. Those are kind of the main things you get. The performance of cooling is still the same, pretty shitty, but it works. Like, it does cool my beans off in 5 minutes at 350 grams, but if you're shooting for the 400 and 500, that actually takes probably a little bit longer, maybe like 8 minutes. Which I don't think is really acceptable if you go further than like 5 minutes. I think you should cool your beans within 5 minutes. There's some people out there that think you should cool your beans within a minute. I don't know. Some people feel strongly about making sure their beans cool off in less than 3 too. There's a group of people that think that's how you have to roast, preventing your roast from taking off or something. Because if you don't use a cooling fan, your beans can actually go into second crack. And I've had that happen where my beans were so hot and I forgot to turn the fan on that a first crack ended, and then all of a sudden it started re-cracking, but at a faster rate. And I realized, oh shit, I forgot to put my bean cooling fan on. And also, if you're shooting for light roast, you probably don't want it to eke on into the medium territory. All right. Also, if you're really into light roast, I wouldn't probably recommend getting a Skywalker. Like, if you're shooting for making the lightest roast of the lights, or you're shooting for those ultra lights, I would probably recommend like a Cafe Logic. Cafe Logic Nano 7. Because I've been getting light roasts out of there and they've been repeatable and great, but I kind of feel like it's boring using that. You don't really control a roaster. You're kind of just making a graph and it's doing all the work for you. All right, that's all set up. Let's start it up and let's put high beam on. So, be right back. I'm gonna grab my tablet. All right. I actually had to get a new tablet for it because I was trying to run the Decent Espresso Machine software or app on it on my old tablet, and I couldn't run it. It can run high beam really well, but it can't run the Decent Espresso like software. It was a lot slower. It's kind of sad, to be honest. because you pay that much for like an espresso machine and the app kind of sucks. Let me plug us in. Okay. But it's SCR copy. Oh, let me get out of this. It's let's see. Screen share. PC mode. Hey, I'm gonna use my phone. I thought I set up high beam on here. But I guess not. Let me just change my wallpaper. I got my kids on there. I don't want to show off the children's. There it is. We got screen copy there working. I can control it on my computer now too, which is the nice part. So if you want to get a way around it, you can use screen copy to put it on your computer monitor if you really feel like you want to do that. Anyways, let's grab what we're gonna need for that. So what you'll need is, depends on what you want to do. So you need the ESP32S3 at the minimum. One of these. Don't get the C3 because it'll be super slow. Won't work as well. But you need something with the S3 chip. That's the one that the community is using for the most part. You can also use the bigger variants, like the let's see, the bigger variants. We have code set up for something like this. I think this is the FreeNov one that's on Amazon. The double USB units. If you want to use more like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, for whatever reasons you want to connect, you decided you want to use Wi-Fi instead, you could use the code for that on here. I believe this works a little bit better. In terms of that, I think people had some complaints about this one. I think this one works fine. I haven't had any issues with the S3 variants that are this small. I think the only time it became an issue was when we were using it with the BLE, what it's called, our little BLE connector that you hook up to you hook up a second unit. Like say you'll get this unit will have the firmware for high beam, and this one will have the BLE bridge. And you'll hook that one up to your computer, so you could run the BLE bridge on like Artisan as well. So with this little thing, you can run Artisan and high beam at the same time if you're really a weirdo like that. like me, that's what I do sometimes. But I'll show you the setup with just a normal high beam. Pretty easy. Let me get let's get on the desktop. got? All right, so here's our little website, skywiki.coffee. I infrequently update this, so don't feel like you have to keep up with it. I try my best. There's a blog coming up soon where I'm gonna do updates on firmware because there's so freaking many firmwares now. So you'll follow the instructions here. There's something called the Skywalker high beam firmware installation. It's pretty general, simplifies everything. So you could download the latest binary link from this link, and it'll take you to we call it quick SV, but it's just the basic, the base version of it that we like to upload. And you can download that here. And I think this is the updated one with RMT. So it's getting the temperature differently using less CPU. So if you're into that nerd stuff, it does work a little bit better, I believe. Anyways, we're gonna update that. So we'll go back to that page. We downloaded that firmware, and now we're gonna go to ESP Home. So just Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge, and we'll do ESP Home. ESP Home is just how you're gonna upload the firmware to it. Okay. You'll go to first. You're gonna find you're gonna connect their ESP30 or 32S3. Let's find a little port. And then you're just gonna plug it in. Sometimes you're gonna have to like hold boot and then plug it in, or hold boot and then press reset. So that's how you would get it into what is called DFU or firmware mode. So you can set that aside. And then let's go back here. We're gonna hit connect. You should see something that's called JTAG. You should see that, or if you want to, you can unplug it and then plug it back in while holding boot. And then that should pop up. Or you could even do hold boot and then hit reset. And then the JTAG should appear. Oh yeah, I have a Gajuino. Someone's asking about Gajuino in the YouTube chat. I actually have one up. I don't have it. I have all the parts for it. I have V3 before Zero decided, or not the Zero, before they decided to kind of close it off. I think the LCD part of it or something. I forget. But I have it before they made that big change. I have the old PCB. I've been meaning to put it together, but I haven't. But I want to. So yeah, we're gonna hit COM10, hit connect, and then install, use file, and then you're gonna pick Click B and ESP32, and then hit install. And then I'll do all the fun stuff to get it installed for you. But I do plan on getting Gajuino up and running. I have a decent espresso machine. I think I'm gonna sell it. It's a great machine. It's just, I don't know. I'm not into espresso as much as I used to be. So I'll install the firmware, and then after that you just literally unplug it and plug it back in to into the roaster. All right, so we'll grab that unit. So that's all uploaded. I got it right here. Want to get a long USB port? Or yeah, it's a lot easier now to assemble. Sorry, we're talking about Gajuino. I've been meaning to assemble it. I always thought it was just way more interesting than the decent espresso making. I guess I'm always into the DIY ones. Okay, maybe I'll look back into it. So I got this long cable that I use because you want to keep it really far away from the roaster, because it does have something with EMI, electromagnetic interference, kind of really trips this up. And actually, it's so bad that if you were to like put this up against to like the metal duct when you're roasting, and it just kind of like taps it, even if it's in a case, because I've been doing that. I accidentally had it like touch it while I was roasting, and it literally, like, there's so much interference that it resets the whole thing for some reason. And it kept happening. I was like, why is it keeps resetting? And I noticed my this thing kept like dangling a little bit because I had it like above, and then it would hit the pipe a little bit, and then it would reset. So right. So we got the ESP32. I'm gonna plug this in. Oh, I've just I get these returns from Amazon. They're Amazon Skywalker V1 returns. I usually I set them back up, and then I just turn around and sell them back to the community for a lot cheaper. Good. And then so I gotta plug it in. I'm gonna keep this far away. Top. All right, so now I'm gonna go front. So let me delete this, and I'll kind of show you how you add it in too. So you want to add this in. Let's start off with what it normally would look like. I guess we'll do something generic. There you go. So if you want to add a new Skywalker in, you would just hit this plus at the far right. Scroll down, and you're gonna look basically for the Skywalker series. Hit Skywalker, hit com, and our little thing is the ESP32 Sky Command BLE. I'm gonna hit add. Good, we paired it, and then it looks like it's working already. So you go in developer mode. So if you go to the far bottom right circle icon and you hit developer, you can click enable, or not enable log, enable device control terminal, and they'll give you this little bug screen. And you can kind of see it go through sending the data back and forth. Damn, that's actually pretty good. This must be with RMT. Is it called RMT? RMD? I forget what it is. But people have been using a different way of transferring the heat temperatures over RMT, and now it's really doing it without. We usually get these like little red boxes that come up. They'll say like misread, and we don't have that as much. So that's kind of cool. Like, it would miss maybe once every like 5 seconds. It used to be the case, but now it's, yeah, it really is really not doing it. I'm sorry guys, I'm nerding out real quick. I remember when I was doing the initial code for this, and it would like miss one packet of like this information, and then I'd like freak out. But yeah, it's doing it every second. Read's getting hit. Anyways, this is the protocol that it is. It's called TC4. I think it's like a little bit of a modified version of TC4. But what it's doing is high beam map is sending read. It returns the values of like temperature, heat, and then drum speed. No, actually, no, heat and air, but it leaves out drum. Drum's a separate command, but Now let's go ahead and we'll go back to the beginning screen and we're going to test everything. So we'll go to quick control. So we'll turn it on. Fan turns on. I'm going to put my mic up there. Hear everything. Turn on and off the fan. I'm going to turn on the drum. That's what the drum sounds like. Then now I'm going to turn on the computer. Hear a click. That's the SDR. I don't know. But that turns on and off the lamp. Turning red, we'll turn the cooling fan on. Good. Everything. Let me update to the newest one. I have a Adele belt that we're trying to get ESP. We're trying to have the V2 connect via BLE. Testing out code, and eventually, because the BLE that same code will work for the 1 kilogram that I have here. So I want to start rotating on the 1 kilogram unit on high beam. It just Will hasn't put it in, and I don't think he's gonna do it till probably after. Go back and kind of show you what's going on with the new. Actually, I'm gonna create a new account. I don't want to show everyone. I gotta reset. Oh, there's just. Anyways, we'll install the new IBeam in once I get the new login code. Put it in. Okay, all right. here it is. So this is what kind of a beginning screen will look like. So I'm gonna add it in. So let's add in, let's go to Skywalker. Two versions. HB is if you buy the actual unit from Highbeam, which is a fantastic unit if you don't want to kind of want to support them. I highly recommend doing that. Or you could do the community version where it's all free and it gives us the opportunity to test things out, and he gets in touch with the community a lot, figures out what we want to add in. So it's been really nice working with Highbeam and Will in that capacity. So if you do feel like you want to support them, you don't want to do all this kind of stuff, pretty much install firmware. I know it's kind of easy if you think about it, but I think it's kind of nice to support them. But it does cost like $50 compared to like, you could buy 5 of these ESP32 S3s for like 25 bucks. Anyways, we'll hit Skywalker's communication. Yeah, give it permission. You're gonna hit the Sky command BLE. And then, like I said, if you want to turn developer mode on, we'll go to the bottom right icon, developer, and then enable device control terminal. Then you'll have this little this thing right here, that little bug icon that you can touch, and then see all the stuff that's being sent. So yeah, so you see the 0.24.24.0.0.0, that's pretty much the TC4 protocol. So it goes by environmental temperature is usually the first one, beam temperature is the second one, heat power, and then fan speed. But this doesn't have this is just basically it's sending the same units to both ET and BT for temperature, because it only has one temperature probe. But you do have the ability to add another probe if you want to. Anyways, next thing we'll do is we'll go to the device, and then it'll kind of tell you like roast profile that's required to get it all set up. So we'll hit select, you hit default profile, then confirm, or you can add from Rosetta if you feel like it. And when I say add from Rosetta, you're basically just pulling an A-log from Rosetta, and you're using that to kind of set up your first roast. One thing is, you're not really going to set it up. You wouldn't set this up like, you wouldn't take an A-log from like a Kaleido roaster or a Cormorant. You'd get an A-log from another Skywalker. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the exact same, you're not going to roast the exact same way. It's just kind of like how they approach the profile and how you can adjust your roast to fit it. Anyways, I'm just going to do default. Hit confirm, and then we'll start manual roasting. And you also could set up, if you really want to, if you want to set up a default profile for some reason, you could select the reference curve. Also, let's see where it's at. There is a section. Let's do this first. Let's get the bean. I'm gonna pick out a bean. Ugh. I really don't hate it when there's tea-like. I'm a tea-like hater. So I got a Guatemala Finca Santa Ynez Caturra. Hazelnut chocolate raisin, tannic notes, punchy cocoa roast notes. I'm actually becoming a fan of cocoa roast notes. So what we'll do next is we're gonna default profile. hit switch. I'm gonna hit the plus. Where is it? Oh, sorry. I'm gonna go to the coffee bean. So where it says incomplete coffee bean, then you're gonna select your green beans. You know, nothing's in there. You can manually input it by hitting the plus sign to add manually, or this one's 5 out of 5. Okay. Oops. Well, sometimes it does that. So I'll just take a little picture of the label. Good, so gets all that information. Now, that's probably my favorite use of AI so far, other than coding stuff. But it's just it was able to add the, you know, the origin, the variety, the processing style, and that's pretty much it. And it also gives you the roast notes it was able to leave in there, so that's kind of cool. I know, maybe a little gimmicky, but it saves me a lot of time inputting. So I'll hit save. I'm gonna click that, put it in there. Green weights. These are usually set at 450. That's my environment. I don't have a scale here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and, because usually it's 450, 455. So let me switch it to 455. Then you got your automation stuff. So global automation, trigger when dropped. So set fan speed to 100. When you're done with your roast, you drop your beans, it sets the fan to 100. Then you have a safety one, or BT is greater than 250. You would have a warning beep and turn off the heater, which I think is good. And you could add other stuff if you want, like create automation. You do a profile specific one or a global. I usually leave that alone. And then we're gonna start a manual roast. If you want, you can go to auto roasting. If you somehow got the same bean as a friend of yours, you can, let's go look it up. We'll go to their community setting. We'll kind of go through their community stuff, and let's look up, yeah, so many people now. That's me. Let's say you're looking for your buddy. You and Michelle got like the same bean, and he said he got good results doing it this way. And you're like, oh, I want to do that too. You could kind of click on it, and then you can sync it to your library and give him a thumbs up. And you can kind of check out what he did, how he did it. Then you can go back, go to device, auto roasting. There's two settings here, bean temp tracking and then control replay. We have a PID library in the ESP32, but it's mostly for preheating. Controlling radiant heat temperature, because it's measuring the bean, is a little bit different than when it'd be like a convection roaster. So it's a little more complicated. You would need like a fan setup, something to control you need like an inlet fan, and then another PID control the lamp, and they have to work in kind of unison to get it the right temperature. And I think it's called like adaptive PID. And we just don't have we haven't found the right person yet to help us with that. For free, by the way. I can't pay anybody anything. No, yeah, we're broke. But yeah, you can try it if you really want to and mess with your PID settings individually. But honestly, control replay is a lot better option, because control replay, you're really just adjusting fan, heat, that whatever the profile was adjusting. So whatever it adjusted at that time, this will do the same thing. And you go either strictly by time or strictly by time and temperature. Well, maybe we'll go by time. You want to do that, and you want to switch your log. think I sucked it to the library. I forget how to get it from my library. Oh, maybe it was supposed to be auto roasting. Just when you thought you had it. I thought there was a library section I could import. Maybe that's not in yet. Let me see if I can get it in my library. Oh, it's because I didn't add that. No, I don't know. I gotta look at how to get it back from. I thought I could import it to the library into here. Maybe I can't. Let's see, add a profile. I should really go over this one day. I usually just do manual roasting as my thing, and then I'll just get it from my library if I really needed it. But this is like a first time setup, so auto roasting. If you want to switch your profile, okay, so we'll just add a profile that's, these are from the control panel. So there's 0, 1, 12, 13, 21, 22, 23, and just keeps going on. But these are within the Skywalker automation stuff that's in the control panel. So you could just hit that. I think that's how it works. There it is. Oh, maybe that's it. I had to get rid of all that stuff. There it is. Confirm. Okay. That's where I messed up. So what I didn't do when I went to switch, I forgot to take out this Skywalker com and then Guatemala Finca. Then it gives you the list of profiles you can select from that's in your library, and you could just pick which one. Like this is the one we got off from our friend, I forgot their name, but that's where we got it, and we could kind of follow this as a guideline. And then if you wanted to auto roast and you're using the same bean and those things are the same, then you can probably hit start auto roasting, and it'll give you like the hints of how to use it. But basically once you get started, you drop the beans and then you just let it handle all the other stuff, like adjusting your lamp and your air. But I don't want to do that. I want to do a manual roast. So I'm gonna switch out of here. I'm gonna do default, no nothing. We're gonna start off blank, and then we'll start a manual roast because we're gonna use the Guatemala Finca, and we're gonna hit start preheat.
Preheat low. Auto heating to 200.0 degrees Celsius.
I get that started on 55, and then I'm gonna let it preheat. I wonder if you could do that with automations. That's a good point. Bike for Life had a good point where he was wondering if, can you set the roasting to ensure that it never goes over 80%? I think you can. Let me see. not. No, I think I have to ask Will about that one. I forgot. The guy who wrote this code, I have to look over. I gotta look over his code because I want to say he added a instance where you could keep it at 80% and it just displays 100. But I don't know if that was an option. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that would be a great option to have. And I think that's firmware dependent, so we can ask I'll have to ask Will how he wants to set that up. So we can just hit a button and it'll be like limits it to 80. Oh, okay. So anyways, we got to go in, make sure when you're preheating that you got this on and you got this in. From what I understand, if you leave like one of these off, it actually it builds up. For some reason, it builds up so much heat in the front that it sets off the thermostat or the thermal fuse in the front. Right now, I'm using high beam. This is the beta high beam, and it could almost work with any roaster if you have high beam. They have this like Hierarch Pro thing you could purchase. That kind of works too. I have that set up for my Cormorant. Oh, also, while this is heating up, we could do another thing. Let me see. Let me have that preheat.
Preheat low. Auto heating.
For those who really want like both experiences of high beam and artisan, you can run both at the same time. So let me find this. We'll grab this. So this will be our BLE bridge. There's another. I'll do this one. Well, that's heating up. Could set up another one of these as a BLE bridge. And there's something called the Zero Artisan BLE bridge that you could install on this on a second ESP32. So this is a different ESP32. This is actually not a Zero, this is a Super Mini. This is a little bit cheaper than the Zero, but the pins are a little bit different. But 19 and 20 are still the serial pins for, or they're still the pins for, the GPIO pins for the USB port if you want to connect it directly to your roaster. Yes, High Beam is a free app. I think they make most of their money off of like sales of roasters that have it implemented already. All right, so with BLE Bridge, we'll go back to this one. So this will connect to here. And this is a Artisan. This is a fork of it called Telescope. So port. I'll see. Well, let me see a port number this. So that's 568. So it'll be port 8. So I'm gonna plug it back in. We'll look for port 8. Hit OK. refs on. Oh, this is a V2 profile. Hold on. So we're gonna load settings for basic ski top. We'll go to port 8. Hit OK. And on this is a recent development that we've gotten to have it run both simultaneously. Assuming it works. Watch it not work now. Oh, rats. Embarrassing because it was working before. That happens sometimes. It's supposed to act like a serial port. Yeah, it's not sending anything. Maybe I need to use a 0. Yeah, put it on this one. I'll try a different way. Try it this way. Ugh. Can't remember what I did to make it work. Let me try one more last ditch effort. Ugh. Oh, yeah, maybe I was supposed to. Okay, I won't do that. Div kit C, there it is. You ordered one? Bike for Life? How many did you order? One or just a bunch? You ordered 3? Nice. For different people, or are you gonna run them all at the same time? There's a guy who has 5 of them, and he does this thing where he has 5, and he like loads one, sets one, they go on the same high beam profile, and then runs that profile with the settings instead of PID, and he just like does this like constant thing, and it's insane. I don't recommend doing it. I highly don't recommend. But I also don't control your life, so you can do what you want to do. It might be good to have 2. Oh, it connected to the other one. Yeah, a lot of the experimental stuff is on the V1. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Never works when you want it to work. Oh, it's this one. This is not working anymore. I gotta figure that one out later. Plus I have another ESP32. Always have a bunch laying around. Actually, let me try it again with the Super Mini, but I'm gonna use the Bridge software this time. I'm gonna look for my other super mini. I don't have many super minis. I have a lot more of the zeros. I have a lot more zeros, or a lot more super minis than I have zeros. It's still warming up. It's still preheating. It's at a 201 right now. Looking good. I got mine from, usually I get them from Precision. But I usually get the returns. Let's turn this back on. Pray this works. If it doesn't, then I'm just gonna report. Can't remember if this is broken. My last ditch effort. I have another super mini that I'm gonna try. This is all nice and warm. Remember, don't touch the top of this, because it will burn you. Very hot. Did you just order them now? I thought they were gonna stop shipping stuff because of the new year. Oh, profile. It's not working. Ew. What a tease. One more attempt. Let's see if it just work. If it works on another port. I guess I didn't get it to work anymore. Bummer. $30 to 45 days? Damn. Makes sense. Oh, there. That happened. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's get back on a high beam. Oh, hold on. I gotta check if Bear sent me something. Bear. Well, guess you can't do it simultaneously with this version, but all right, so it works. I have to disconnect from the app, the Bluetooth from the app to get this connected, but we had a version that was working where we had both running at the same time. So you could either use Artisan if you want to. I was roasting with it simultaneously on one of my last streams, but I'll turn this off and we're just gonna use High Beam. Let's go back at it.
Preheat flow. Auto heating to 200.0.
Come on. Oh.
Preheat flow. Auto heating to 200.0 degrees Celsius.
That was a little bit of a bug where the drum doesn't start if it gets disconnected, so I gotta tell Will about that. All right, so it's all preheated. Let's try a roast. Oh, I guess I should probably put this chaff collector in there. time is it? Oh, that's cutting it close. Spent too much time doing that. Well, I heated it up. I just have to pick up my kid in like 5 minutes. So there's not enough time to roast. But I'll pick him up and I'll hop back on and I'll do a roast with it just to see what it looks like, and then I'll try to edit that video to shorten this, because last time it was like a 3-hour video and no one wants to watch that. But I guess for the next 5 minutes, I'll just answer some questions. If anybody got questions, or I'll just babble on. Yeah, high beam is the way to go. For sure, newer people, I'd probably start off with high beam, but if you feel like you have this affinity to go towards something more, I guess, older and reliable, then probably I would stick with Artisan, especially if you want to use some of their features or you're playing for Artisan Plus. However, if you're just starting off, you want to use something that looks kind of easy to use and simple, you want something that has a tablet form, or you want to use your phone, or you have a iPad or a Android tablet that you can use, I'd probably recommend high beam. The only thing is you're more limited on the V2 with high beam, because you can't connect it to like an iPad or a iPhone because of the whole BLE thing. The Bluetooth Low Energy. I don't think they use a classic Bluetooth anymore to connect to anything. Everything has to be through BLE, so that's kind of just the Apple thing, which I think is just safer, I guess, for BLE. Bluetooth, there's a classic Bluetooth on the V2, and there's been a lot of complaints that there's been a lot of drops on there, and it's become like a long-standing issue because of the whole classic Bluetooth. Or classic Bluetooth issue. Well, they'll have a little bit more drops. I haven't had a real drop in BLE on high beam in a long time. The only time I've had one was yesterday, and I figured it out because if I hooked up the pipe to here, and I guess whatever electromagnetic interference was happening on the pipe, I would tap it a little bit on. I tapped the little ESP32S3 onto the pipe, and it would literally just reset the whole thing. Not bare though. It had a control. It had a box around it. It was pretty much this unit, and it would just like lightly, like tap on the pipe, because I had my wires upwards, and it would cause a signal to drop, which I found very interesting. And which is why Will and everyone at High Beam says if you do get the ESP3, if you do go this route of doing it DIY, they want you to separate it a little bit further out away from any electromagnetic interference. So away from the roaster, maybe away from the computer, maybe up tall somewhere. What else? So this unit is particularly, I'm probably going to sell this for like $250 and then whatever shipping is. Has a little bit of a blemish, but should work fine. I put the unit in, the fan unit. I want to see if it melts too. ESP32. Yeah. Can't think of anything else. Oh yeah, the community version of High Beam. We'll let that preheat. I got a few more minutes left, so yeah, we can check around Go through all the profiles. There's this like planet setting in the right in the like the second column on the right. You could go through, look it up by roast level. If you want something extremely light, let's see what people have done. Got some people with only get 1931 geishas, and you go through the list, kind of pick what you want, and then you can add it to your library, so you can add it in later to roast with. Or a lot of people like to compare what people have done, so. So we'll go by origin. Say someone has an Ethiopia, you want to see how they did. You go through all the Ethiopias, maybe they're the same kind. Chelbosa, whatever that is, Ethiopia, Canyon, Mountain Taro. Also, if you want to, like if you could compare with device models, we could look up like a Kaleido M2, we'll do an M2. No way, there's gotta be more than that. Okay, maybe Kaleido M1. Did I pick origin? Or there's, I guess they're not all roasting on it. Or you could go by Shmola. That's another convection heat roaster. There's me. Well, I'll try to come back later and I'll try to do a roast with you and with it, but then, yeah, that took a little bit longer than I thought. But anyways, I gotta go pick up my kid, so if anything, let me know if you have any questions, concerns, or if you want to buy this unit. Anyways, thanks for opening this up with me. Hopefully somebody could buy it. Please get it out of my garage.